Hi, guys. Good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and welcome back again to another episode review. In tonight's video, I will be doing my episode review for the most recent episode of Containment, which premiered earlier tonight on the CW. As usual, before I start blabbering on and you lose interest in what I'm talking about, please be warned that this episode review video will be full of big spoilers regarding tonight's episode. So if you're not caught up on Containment, or if you're behind a few episodes or so, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be going into big spoilers. You have been warned. That being said, it was quite an intense episode tonight. We saw a lot going on. We saw a lot, we saw a lot of resentment coming out of a lot of the characters. Resentment at each other, and we saw people in desperate times acting desperately and dangerously. I was wondering when people were going to start to lose their cool, because it's already been a few days inside of this quarantine zone, the cordon as they're calling it, which is also the name of the book, by the way, that this series is based off of. Either the book, or there's a British series of this show called The Cordon or something. Anyway, but that's what they're referring to the containment zone as, the cordon. And it didn't take long. The pregnant girl contained herself inside her mom's store while her mom's running the cash register. These people come in, this woman and three men, these three hillbillies armed with shotguns come in, and they shoot out the TV, and they basically tell the woman to take whatever she wants while holding the woman at gunpoint. But fortunately, Officer Jake and another cop are there, and they basically tell these guys that they can go because nothing's really happened yet, and they don't want to see them go to jail for 20 years over stealing groceries. So they decide to let them go. And what really sucks too is that, the stakes are so high on this show, because you've got people on the outside of the cordon trying to figure this thing out, trying to beat this virus, and you've got people on the inside with only 11 cops to manage 4,000 terrified people. It's gonna, that's a lot of tension and conflict right there alone. And poor Officer Jake is like the only lead cop in there, and all the other cops, like he was saying to Lex later when they meet in the container thing, like most of them are rookies. A couple of them, like one of them was a narco cop, and he thinks he was high while he was trying to debrief him or something. It's a bad situation. It's a very tense situation. And this episode was a kind of emotional too, because we saw desperate people, scared people acting quite dangerously, and risking themselves and their family members. We saw the father show up to claim his son after his son was exposed to the sick man in the stairwell, and the poor teacher trying to look out for the best interests of the boy. The boy's father, though, not feeling the same way, pointing a gun at her face, and fortunately the kind old man with the lab rats comes around the corner and calms the situation down. And you can tell that the father with the gun, doesn't want to hurt anybody, and he's just as scared and angry as Katie, the teacher, is. And poor Katie felt so bad about this, because she was entrusted with the safety and responsibility of all these kids, and she let this one little boy get sick by an infected man. Or we don't know if he's actually sick, but chances are he probably caught the virus. But his father took him home at gunpoint. There's really nobody to stop him, only 11 cops and 4,000 people. I did think it was interesting how Lex was able to figure out you can get more men, more people into the cordon by having them go through those shipping containers. But obviously the woman in charge running the whole project doesn't want, she keeps saying, no one in, no one out. That's like the policy of the show Containment. No one in, no one out. But eventually, like all rules, that one is definitely going to get broken sooner or later. And it was interesting to see the different styles of leadership collide between Lex and Lemmers, I think her name was. Anyway, the blonde CDC lady running the show. He's trying his best to do his job, but also present options and other ideas, alternatives for how to handle the situation. But she's dead set on her rules and her way of handling things alone. She hears him out, but she says, interesting idea, but we're not going to do that. We just simply cannot risk any more lives to the people inside the cordon and outside. And then then the social media guy was starting to get on my Leo was starting to get on my nerves because he was taking advantage of a horrible situation to attract viewers and fans to his little website called In the Perimeter, where he has his two, his two friends, his two website friends helping him from the inside. They're like, oh yeah, we're getting all these great shots of all these dead bodies lying around and stuff because we're exposing the truth. And he doesn't really like trust the system with what they're telling them, which is understandable. But what I thought was interesting was how his conscience kicked in when his two friends discovered the ladder, the fire escape ladder that leads on top of one of the buildings, and it's just high enough to jump onto the top of the wall of shipping containers. He hesitates, thinking about, this could get really bad, and is this really worth the publicity or worth the attention or the fame? He's like, because he even says to his two friends, are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you guys really sure about this? Like, maybe we shouldn't show this. But, like, it's the story of the century or the story of the day. We found a way out for people. But he's still hesitant. So he's not a heartless asshole. In fact, he looks quite sad when he realizes that one of his two friends starts coughing and he realizes that she's getting sick from this flu. So, what's interesting, that's what I liked about this episode, is that we saw a lot of humanity, a couple of, teary moments between relatives and loved ones, and then people doing their best and trying so hard to hold it together in a deplorable situation. And now poor Jake, it's bad enough he feels like he's being punished by being sent there or being stuck there in the cordon, and now the doctor's telling him he's got to start burning the bodies of the dead. Oh man, God, that's got to be awful. And he already has enough on his plate. He's like the cop officially in charge inside the cordon, coordinating with Lex, but he's only got like 10 or 11 other officers to work with against 4,000 people. Fortunately, Lex is nice enough to get some ammo and guns and other supplies into the shipping container, but they still have a moment where, Jake is mad at Lex for saying like, we can't get any men in here. Like, nobody's here to help us. Nobody's coming. What the hell, man? And then Jake has a little moment on the phone with his girlfriend. They kind of play the blame game back and forth, but they reconcile. And I thought it was really eerie. Here's what I really liked about this episode. After everything's kind of calmed down for the day, we see characters using the internet to talk to each other, or they're on the phones talking to each other, or they're watching YouTube together on somebody's phone together laughing. And then we see like Leo talking to his two friends. He looks kind of somber and remorseful. And then the music is kind of playing, kind of light and happy, and all of a sudden everything goes dark. All the phones stop working, the internet stops working, everything goes dark, which means they've cut power off to the cordon. And of course, in the final moments of the episode, the lady in charge of this operation explains to Lex that we had to cut off power to the cordon because after that little stunt today where somebody almost escaped the cordon because of the image that was posted online by Leo, they had to cut off power so nobody can see or know what's happening and going on inside the cordon. And the only person who's going to have internet and communication access will be the doctors inside the hospital trying to work everything out. So it was a really good episode. It had me a little, a few moments kind of, started to choke me up a little bit, just simply seeing, how horrible of a situation this is, and how, there are really good, decent people trying to make the best of it and trying to do the right thing, but they have so many obstacles and other people in their way. It's a tough situation. It's scary too. It's very, very scary because all of this could very much really happen. Something to think about. But overall, great episode. I like what I've seen so far with this web mini-series, and I hope the best is yet to come. I'm looking forward to the rest of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode as well. Thank you so much for watching this review video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one Also, check out my Facebook page in the description down below. What did you guys think of tonight's episode? Please leave your thoughts, opinions, feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on this. As usual, let's please be respectful and civil of one another's beliefs and opinions, of course. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out Containment on the CW every Tuesday night for a new episode. All right, guys, have a great rest of the night. Thanks again for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.